Have you ever wondered if a robot could decide whether you're worthy of getting a loan? Well, that sounds like something out of sci-fi movies, doesn't it? Well, folks, the future is here, and it's called artificial intelligence in lending. Stick around today because we're diving deep into this brave new world of algorithms and credit scores and asking the tough questions about fairness, faith, and the future of finance. Knowing how these AI tools are being used may very well make the difference between whether you get a loan or not. So that's our topic on today's show.
Welcome to the Ask Ralph podcast, where listening to an experienced financial professional with over 30 years of experience can help you make sense of confusing questions, current headlines, and industry trends about taxes, small business, financial decision-making, investment strategies, and even the art of proper budgeting. Ask Ralph makes the complex simple by sharing his real-world knowledge from a Christian perspective with all things financial. Now here's your host, Ralph Estep Jr.
Before we get started, a quick thank you to everyone who reached out after yesterday's episode about the impact of smartphones on our kids. It was a tough conversation, but I think it was an important one. The digital age brings with it unique challenges, and as parents, it's our responsibility, it's our absolute responsibility to guide our children towards healthy relationships with technology. We certainly can't bury our heads in the sand and pretend like technology doesn't exist, but we've got to be better at guiding our children. So if you missed it, you can visit AskRalphPodcast.com where you'll find all of our past episodes. Of course, you may want to consider subscribing to the show so you don't miss any future episodes as well. Speaking of important conversations, tomorrow we're shifting gears to a topic that's crucial for those of you who are nearing or in retirement, and that's these dreaded things called required minimum distributions, or RMDs. We'll break down what they are, why they matter, and how to plan for them effectively. You don't want to miss it. Now let's get back onto today's topic, and that's artificial intelligence in lending. It sounds like something straight out of Star Wars, doesn't it? But the truth is this, folks. AI is rapidly changing the landscape of financial services, and lending is absolutely no exception. We're talking algorithms that analyze mountains of data, things like your income, your spending habits, even your social media activity to determine your credit worthiness. I find it kind of scary, don't you? Now, on the surface, this might seem like a good thing. Proponents of AI in lending argue that it eliminates human bias, making the process faster. It makes the process cheaper and more objective. And in a world where we're constantly battling against prejudice and discrimination, the idea of purely data-driven systems can be appealing. But as with any new technology, there are potential downsides we must consider. And that's what I want to focus in on today. Because as Christians, we're called to approach financial matters with wisdom, with discernment, and above all, with compassion. You know, back when I was the executive vice president of a credit union, I saw firsthand the importance of the human touch in lending. Yes, we had data, we had credit reports, we had income statements, we had debt-to-income ratios, we had pay stubs, we even had things called credit scores. But we also took the time to sit down with our members to understand their unique circumstances. We took time to understand their struggles, and more importantly, we took time to understand their aspirations. To be very honest with you, I regularly disregarded the numbers right in front of me if my gut told me that the borrower was a good risk. I remember one young couple in particular. They were a hard-working couple, dedicated and desperate to buy their first home, but their credit history was, well, let's just say it wasn't pretty. A few financial missteps early in their marriage had left them with a credit score that screamed high risk to most lenders. They'd been turned down by everybody. On paper, the truth is they were a solid no. But when I met with them, I saw something more than just numbers on a page. I saw their commitment to each other, their determination to build a better future, and their genuine remorse for past mistakes. They had a solid plan to manage their debt and improve their financial situation. And so despite what the data might have suggested, we approved their loan. And you know what? They never missed a payment. They turned their financial life around. They built their dream home and became some of our most valued members. Now I ask you, would an algorithm have made that same decision? Would it have seen past the numbers to the heart of the matter? Would it have recognized their potential for growth and given them a chance when others clearly wouldn't? That's the danger of relying solely on AI in lending. It risks creating a system that's efficient, but it's also cold. It's impersonal and unforgiving. A system that favors those who already have strong financial footing while leaving behind those who are struggling to get back on their feet. And that, my friends, goes against everything we stand for as Christians. Remember the words of Proverbs 22, verse 22. Do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court. We are called to be compassionate, to show mercy, to offer a helping hand to those in need, and that includes those who are struggling financially. I'm not saying that numbers don't matter. The truth is, folks, in most cases, those numbers will be right on the decision-making process. But without that human connection, I'm sorry, but we're going to miss opportunities to help those who are willing to work hard and honor their finances. Now, I'm not saying that AI has no place in lending at all. Far from it. It can be a valuable tool for automating tasks. It's valuable for analyzing data and even identifying potential fraud. But here's my bottom line. It should never replace the human element, the ability to exercise judgment, the ability to understand empathy and have true understanding of a situation. So you might ask, Ralph, what can we do? How do we ensure that technology serves humanity rather than the other way around? So here's what I've come up with. First, we need to be aware of the potential risks and the pitfalls of AI in lending. We need to ask tough questions about how those algorithms are designed, what data are they using, and whether they perpetuate existing biases. Secondly, we need to advocate for greater transparency and accountability in the lending process. Consumers deserve to know how their creditworthiness is being assessed, and they have the right to challenge decisions they believe are unfair. And finally, we need to remember that behind every loan application, there's a human story. Just like that story of that couple that came to me at the credit union. There are stories of dreams, stories of challenges, and true human story of aspirations. Let's strive to create a financial system that treats people with dignity, that treats people with respect and compassion, regardless of their credit score. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope this episode has given you some food for thought about the role of AI in our lives. And listen, folks, if you're like me, you're seeing it everywhere. And the importance of approaching financial matters with a Christian perspective. Now, before you go, I want to remind you, head over to AskRalphPodcast.com and sign up for our email list. You'll get show notes, bonus content, and exclusive access to resources that will help you master your finances God's way. And while you're there, why not share this episode with a friend or family member who might find it helpful? Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite platform or check us out on YouTube or Rumble. Remember, friends, as I always say, stay financially savvy and God bless you abundantly.
Thank you for joining us on the Ask Ralph podcast. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. And remember, financial issues don't have to be complicated. Just ask Ralph. The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media, Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.